Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? Welcome back to Blacking Off. I'm your gracious host, Derek Blackman, and this is episode 4, and it's been a long time coming. A lot of dumb stuff has happened. First, I was slightly inconvenienced, and then, obviously, this pandemic struck, and then things just got weirder from there. So, March is my birthday month, and yeah, my birthday was on the 8th, and I don't normally do things. Maybe I'll just meet up with like 2-3 friends or something like that, have a little bit of food, maybe play a few video games or something like that, and that's it. I don't go out. It's been a long time since I've had like a full-blown huge party or anything like that. I'm talking about well over a decade. Now, so this time, you know, one of my friends, she wanted me to like definitely do something like and have people around. So I was like, all right, so we had more people than usual. Went to my friend's house. He cooked some food, and you know, it was good. I got a few presents. It was pretty good. But you know, before I got to that, before I got to my friend's house, my truck broke down. So it's kind of messed up. Oh, screwed up on my birthday weekend. It's pretty messed up. And then I decided to stay in my hometown, and because I live in LA, and then my hometown's in Orange County. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stay over here. I'm gonna get a hotel, and then I'll fix the truck. Luckily, I was able to fix it because I thought like it was gonna cost me way too much money, and I bought that thing for like, I don't know, $1,500 like 3 years ago. So it's like I don't want to put too much money into it. I already invested like $1,000 into it with certain, you know, things over the years, and which is pretty good. But ultimately, I did get it fixed, but then I got a little bit sick. And because I got sick around the same time all this coronavirus stuff is going on, I thought, oh great, there's a possibility I might have the coronavirus. And it wasn't because, especially it was like flu symptoms. So I had genuine flu symptoms, and you know, achy chills and stuff, and all the, you know, I just wasn't like, say, getting necessarily coronavirus symptoms like coughing and all that stuff that they say you got to really watch out for. So ultimately, I think it was just kind of a coincidence, and you know, that was a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I feel good. I had to sit out on one of the episodes on the Snark Tank podcast, the other podcast that I do. And then we filmed the one that's going to be out on Thursday. And so I'm back. Everything's kind of cool. But then it's just corona. It's just getting really interesting, man. And it's not in a we're not in a good place. And I think appropriately, that's where I'm going to begin the podcast.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
Yeah, corona. Oh, corona.
Coronavirus, COVID-19. A lot of people didn't think things were going to get to where it's at, but here we are. Pandemic, and so many people, everyone's on lockdown pretty much. And I would say rightfully so. There's a lot of people that are mad. They think that things are getting blown out of proportion, and it's silly. And it's one of those things that people are pretty ignorant. I'm including myself, but there's certain things that I do understand when experts and people kind of warn you how these things can play out and why these things are so dangerous. I'm very eager and willing to listen. And I feel like a lot of those people that are a little ignorant should listen to them. Listen to, you know, whatever the CDC says and the World Health Organization says. And you guys already know all this stuff. I don't need to go through all that. You guys know what's up. And, you know, some numbers are falling in some places, but not everywhere. And especially in the United States. And this is something that's been annoying me because a lot of people are like, oh, the numbers are so much lower in the United States. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal over here. Why are they locking everything down? And I'm just like, okay, please think for a second. Well, sure, I know you're thinking, but how about a little bit of critical thinking? Little critical thinking to the point where you're just like, all right, so why isn't there that many people being diagnosed? And then you instantly realize, oh yeah, a lot of people aren't getting tested. Resources are extremely limited. We are not getting tested on the rates of other countries, so we don't know the true numbers of the people that are infected. And, you know, people are saying, like experts are saying that half the damn world can get infected, you know, but luckily, like I said, it's this This disease, it's a respiratory illness that if you're healthy and young, most likely you'll be okay. We know this. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of people aren't taking it serious, because they're like, I know I'm going to be okay. And they're not thinking about other people. You know, one of my friends, she's not going home because she lives with, you know, people, senior citizens. And for that, she's like, she was just traveling. And so she's like, those are high risk people. So I'm not going to go home. I'm going to stay at my friend's house. And a lot of people wouldn't give a fuck. They just wouldn't care about that. They would just kind of go about their business and be like, I'm going to wash my hands and hopefully everything's fine. But like, that's somebody who's being very mindful because they actually care. And I appreciate that, even though it's completely inconvenient and it sucks, you know? Just like it's really inconvenient that a lot of people are getting laid off. I'm hoping that they can get their jobs back afterwards, but who knows how these things are going to play out. And like, I can only imagine how many people it is, because I know at least 5, 6 people that have told me personally, they're like, well, I'm fucked. I'm out of a job right now. Like, I'm out of a job and I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back. And it's just like, damn, that sucks. And something that's been kind of, you know, bothering me is that I haven't been putting out that much content. And I have one of those few jobs that since I'm independent and I work from home, I can work. And I'm not taking advantage of that. And it's making me feel like trash, because there's a lot of people that want to work and they want to make sure they make their money and they can provide for their families. And, you know, I'm just here just kind of with my thumb up my ass. And so it's something that, like, you know, I just, you know, it's not just like I'm doing it on purpose, right? It's not that I'm just like actively just being lazy because, oh, I just want to be lazy. I am, like, you know, with all the stuff that was happening this month, where I talked about previously with the birthday weekend, just like there's just a chain of unfortunate events, and just kind of put me in a little bit of a funk. And then all of this Corona stuff happening, putting me more in a funk, and then just kind of zapping my motivation, making it very hard to like kind of just create. And that's the only thing that's bad about this type of content, where, you know, if your mind's not right, people will be able to tell. You try to put out some content, you know, like I watch like some people that forcefully put content out, and you can tell they're not into it, and then immediately turns you off and like, I don't want to watch this shit. I can't tell you how many videos I've actually deleted, how many videos I've just completely scrapped because I wasn't into it. Or, you know, it's just like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm not going to just put it out just to try to get views. I just, if I'm not feeling it, how could I expect you guys to feel it? And so that's kind of how I've been feeling. Especially, I'm one of those guys that likes to go to the gym, and I have a hard time working out at home because, and this is something that's been hard for me to do with work as well, is I was so used to all the years, most of the years of my life, the vast majority of my life, working somewhere else. And when I get home, that's where I hang my hat, and that's when I relax. You switch off of work mode. And so now working from home, I'm in the same place that I relax. I'm in the same exact chair where I'm usually relaxing. So my mind's kind of just always jumbled, and it's not good. It would be better if I had a separate office or anything, but I don't have that luxury right now. So, but it is what it is. It's not like a big deal. But I'm just saying the same thing goes when it comes to working out. I've never been one that liked to work out at home. I like to go to the gym. The gym's my dojo. That's a place where I kill it, and then I get home and I relax. So when I'm home, I'm kind of like, it's hard for me to get fired up. And so that's been bothering me too, that I'm not like, even like say, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit the bag in the backyard. I just don't get that vigor that I usually have. And then where I live now, like we have these very low fences on one side, and I just feel weird. And I'm like, you know, anybody can just be looking out their window and watching me. Even though I don't think anybody would want to watch me because I'm not that fucking interesting as far as like in real life situations. Why would you want to be staring at me? But at the same time, it's a distraction. And so it's one of those things why like I've been so just in a funk, down, and not making content. That's why what is this, episode 4 is out, like, what, it was supposed to be out like a month ago or something. I don't even know, but it was supposed to be out a long time ago. And then I'm like, all right, I need to get to this. I need to get to this. And then now I'm finally getting to it. And so, and seeing a lot of people that are just, you know, very down with all the stuff going on with Corona, it's kind of I'm feeding off of that energy too, unfortunately. That's kind of like where I'm at too. And I'm trying not to be like that. That's why I'm doing this now. I'm trying to just get back into the groove of things and give you guys some content, you know, because the people that are really, you know, screwed, the people that lost their jobs, the people that are sickly and all that stuff, I'm just trying to, like, hopefully I can give you a little bit of a distraction and try to put more stuff out. And because, yeah, things are crazy. I mean, all those people that were, like, hoarding toilet paper, for example, like, those people really did, like, do they did so much more damage, because now it's hard to find toilet paper for reals. You know what I mean? Things are definitely getting kind of crazy. Good thing is that water is pretty readily available, at least in LA. From what I've seen, you can actually get water now, but the toilet paper is still an issue. And that's just, like, it sucks that this stuff happened around the same time. And a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people, and they said the same thing, like, man, this happened just when I normally would replenish my toilet paper or whatever. And then this just happened, and now it's just become a nuisance, because usually all you need is just one big pack, right? One big pack for your family. I can get one of those. I would go to Home Depot and get, it was like $16 for like a 20 pack or whatever the fuck it was, the Charmin Ultra, and that thing would last me for so fucking long. And so you see people grabbing 4, 5, 6 packs of those things. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Do you think you're going to be quarantined for a year? Like, you already have Trump saying, like, oh, he wants the quarantine in the United States, for example, lifted by Easter. And experts are saying, I don't know if that's a good idea, bro. I would listen to the experts, because, you know, but at the same time, there's the argument, like, we don't want the fallout and everything, and the economic crisis and everything to be much worse than the virus itself. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. There's no great answers. All I know is that there's a lot of tomfoolery and fuckery afoot going on with the government. And we have partisan bickering where there's no stimulus bill passed yet because of these idiots. They just want to be satisfied on both fronts. Like, say, I think the bill originally came from the Republicans, and then the Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi and stuff, were like, nah, fuck all that noise. You made this partisan. This needs to be nonpartisan. We need to be both cool with this, you know, because only the corporations. And I'm just like, God damn, dude. Like, this is an issue. I don't have any answers. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what's best. I'm not even going to pretend to entertain that. The only thing I can say is that I can't believe this is becoming partisan. I mean, I should say that I say that I can't believe this, but I guess I'm not surprised. You know, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb, man. And I don't know too much about stimulus and all that stuff. I just remember there was that stimulus all them years ago, a couple years outside of high school. And I just remember a lot of too big to fail talk. And I just remember a lot of insurance companies and banks and stuff just getting all their money, getting all their bonuses. And it was just, like, really weird. And I don't know, man. I hate politics. That's why I talk about them less and less. So I used to talk about them a lot, obviously, when the whole 2016 election was going on, because this was such a fascinating and unprecedented time. Now things are just like business as usual. I mean, really business as usual. With you have the DNC still as corrupt as ever. You have and I may even just do a separate segment about this because of how sad it is. But you have Tulsi Gabbard supporting Joe Biden because, you know, Joe Biden's looking like he's going to be the Democratic nominee. And people like myself who like Tulsi Gabbard because she was an anti-war veteran, you know, opposed to the military-industrial complex. And then Joe Biden, a warmonger. And she's like, I support him, but she's supporting him because she said she would support anyone, whomever becomes the Democratic nominee. But you feel like at a certain point, maybe you'd want to take that back because this goes against my principles. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a completely other segment about that. I don't want to get into that completely because I'm just digressing and diverging from the coronavirus. But yeah, I mean, you guys, all I can say is that I hope you guys are safe. I hope your family and friends, because I know there's people that are subscribed to me that are all around the world. Like, I remember seeing somebody on my Facebook. I rarely ever use Facebook, but I do post some stuff on Facebook every once in a while on my Some Black Guy page. And I saw this one girl, like, she was from Italy. She, like, mentioned something about that. But this was before the coronavirus thing. And then it just made me think, I'm like, oh, shit, like, I hope her and her family's okay. You know, because that's, like, where one of the places got hit the worst, you know? So, yeah, I hope most people are safe, man. I would say in the comment section, you can let me know how you're doing, what's your take on it around the world. I have friends in Germany, I have friends in Ireland, I have friends in Greece, I have friends all over the world that I've been talking to, and luckily everyone I've talked to so far is safe. I can't say the same thing for their job, but at least they have their health. So I would say just let me know what you guys are up to. Let me know if you guys are good. And yeah, hopefully everything is good, right? And just take care of yourselves, man. We're gonna get over this corona shit, but we all gotta work together. And we might even have to kill stupid people, I'm just saying. Because really, stupid people are the reason why these things spread so much. And I was just saying to somebody earlier that viruses and diseases like that thrive with stupid people. Like they're so dependent on people being so negligent and just completely self-centered. They're just like, all right, this is how we spread. This is how we live. All right, I'm going insane. I'm out of here.
You might call me a pussy, but I won't hear you in my safe space. My safe space.
Here we go again. It's 2016. The anti-SJWs are just crushing it, right? A bunch of people, a bunch of SJWs are propping up and they're slinging their stupid ideals everywhere, and people are sick of it. You're like, get it out of my comic books, get it out of my video games, get it out of my movies. Let me just be entertained with stuff that I like, with art that is subjective. And just because you don't like it, it doesn't need to go away. You know, all of that good stuff. A lot of that stuff, it came and gone. For the most part, I would say over 90%. Like, say, when's the last time you heard me say or use SJW as a pejorative? It's been a very long time. If anything, I've graduated to saying progressive ideologues because that's more of an accurate caption. That's like, oh, yeah, because SJW is stupid, whatever. This is dumb. Progressive ideologue, because that's what they are. You know, they're very progressive people, but they're like, really just big into their ideals, and it just became unbearable. And so when we see this thing, okay, so I know most of you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Marvel Comics, there is a run called New Warriors, and the New Warriors have been around for a while, but now there's the new version of the New Warriors. And to be honest, I wasn't going to talk about this really because it looked so stupid. It looked like a joke or bait or something that I was just like, no, I'm good. I saw there was a trailer. I saw like maybe 30 seconds of the trailer, and I'm like, I promise you I'm good. I still haven't even seen it all the way. I've probably literally seen like 20 to 30 seconds of it still. Haven't seen anybody's take on it. The only time me, Chris, and Sweeney on the Snark Tank, we talked about it briefly. We talked about it a little. We didn't do a huge dive into it or anything. So I still don't really know much about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch, and for those that are listening, we're going to listen to this together. And it's you already know this is going to be bad, man, because if you don't know, two of the heroes are named Snowflake and Safe Space. All right? Yeah. 2016 all over again. Like I'm saying, I don't remember the last time I've heard like I've never called anybody a snowflake or talked about safe spaces for years now. So you got to wonder, like, why is this stuff even being brought up at all? What is going on with this? Why is Marvel Comics even letting this shit roll out like this? I don't understand. Maybe we can understand by actually completing this trailer. It's like a little bit over 4 minutes, so let's just get into it.
My name is Daniel Kibblesmith.
I mean, let's just be real. You look at this guy right off the bat, and you're like, oh, okay. I get it. I get what's happening right now.
I got interested in the New Warriors later. I remember seeing them on the shelf when I was a kid, picking up comics in the 90s and just feeling like they were too cool for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at them and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
So because the New Warriors are the authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring New Warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the Outlawed event.
Look at this. Just your first glance at the New Warriors. Like, it seems like some dickhead made this to troll. Like, not a SJW, not a progressive ideologue, but just some dickhead that's like, you know what, let's take everybody for a ride. We're going to make this, and we're going to put in all these stereotypes and all this stuff that everybody would poke and laugh at. We're going to have we're going to have some minorities. We're going to have all this pink and, you know, these crazy colors. We're going to have some fat motherfucker. We're going to make it super inclusive. And it's like, nobody wants this. What? No, not a soul wants this. There is nobody, not even the progressive ideologues. They don't want this either. Who wants this? What is this? This has to be I still feel like this is gonna be a joke, and if I want to be like, if it comes out to be a joke, please give me a gold medal or something, and be like, I told you fucking so.
The artist on New Warriors #1 is Luciano Vecchio. He designed all of the New Warriors and gave them costumes that felt as modern as the New Warriors costumes to sort of feel classic and instantly familiar.
Oh, they look so dumb. Like, they look so stupid. When I was a kid, I did gravitate towards people that looked super cool, like comic books and comic book characters that looked really rad. There's no way in hell like I can gravitate to something like that as a kid. And I know kids are pretty much relatively the same. They're empty vessels, and stuff that looks really cool and gaudy like gets their attention. And this ain't it, Chief.
So the first character that we're introduced to is Trailblazer. She's a group home and foster kid, and she inherited from her grandfather a magic backpack.
I bet there's a lot of food in that backpack.
Screen Time is a internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas, and that has patched him permanently into the World Wide Web.
Oh, sick, bro, sick. Screen Time. He's super savvy with the internet, bro. That's so super cool. Come on, man. You can't convince me. People are going to tell me, yeah, this is 100% real. This is 100% real. I know it looks 100% real. I know it's on the official, what is it? The official Marvel Entertainment, it's officially on the YouTube. But I mean, I'm still just, I'm reserving my judgment. I'm like, please let this be fake. This is so dumb. This is not going to work. Now it's time to introduce the two that everybody is here for. Snowflake and Safe Space.
Snowflake and Safe Space are the twins, and their names are very similar to Screen Time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory, to take those words and kind of wear them as badges of honor.
No, 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 no. Let me tell you something. You know the last time taking a word and flipping it on its head has worked? Nigga. That is the last time that has worked. This is the last time when people would drop the hard R's, you know? And then they flipped it and made it their own thing, and it's here to stay, obviously. That's the last time that's happened. That's the last time it's worked. It has not worked for anything else. It won't work for anything else. And this in particular, some of the most mundane insults, snowflake and oh, go to your safe space. Oh, now I'm gonna rock this and be proud of it. There's nothing wrong with being a snowflake. There's nothing wrong with my safe space. I'm like, shut up. What? You are completely projecting, because I'm I know obviously in 2016 and that era, you were probably called everything. Beta, cuck, what is it? Like nowadays you'd probably be called a simp. Jesus, man.
Safe Space is kind of a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else.
Yeah, just a stereotypical jock wearing pink and having the shortest shorts imaginable. Now, hey, like I know I'm not taking a dig at short shorts. I actually rock short shorts quite proudly, but the thing is, I do it to fuck around essentially. I'm not here and loud and fucking prideful and all that shit. Jesus.
Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they them.
Of course, Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they them. I forgot. I honestly kind of forgot about this. I know I talked about this briefly before in my other podcast, but I forgot about that. I forgot that they are non-binary, and it's just like, this is not the representation that non-binary people want. I guarantee you, there's not going to be any people that actually care about these comics and buy these comics who happen to be non-binary and going to be like, that's cool, man. That's a great representation of who I am. You know what I imagine they would like more than anything? They would like a regular superhero, one that's drawn really well and that looks badass, and they happen to be all weird like that. They'd be like, oh shit, they just happen to be like that? That's pretty cool. It's kind of like, say, the first time when I was young, when I discovered that, people that act like, or people that have the same mannerisms as me can be gay as well. Because, you know, usually the only representation of gay people would be on TV and they'd be ultra flamboyant and stuff like that. So I just thought like, oh, you're gay, that's just how you are, or something like that. I'm a kid, obviously. But then when seeing, like, I was watching The Real World or something like that, and I think there was some gay dude on there, but you couldn't tell he was gay. You can only tell he was gay because he said he was gay. You wouldn't have known just by looking at the dude or talking to the dude. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I imagine that's how somebody who happens to be they, them, or whatever the fuck, just like, well, you're just some person and then you happen to be like this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like I'm correct in that assessment, because I feel like that's how a lot of people would like to be, that want to be represented in a certain light. You know, you're a black dude and maybe like, say, like say when Spawn, Al Simmons, like, oh, it's cool, man. Spawn's black. That's dope. Now imagine if Spawn's just like fucking eating chicken and watermelon, and he has guns and shit and gold teeth and stuff, and there's hoes surrounding him. As I say that, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to see that now.
Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile. And this is a character who is turning it into something sharp.
No, that's dumb. Snowflakes are very light, and they're like a little peck on the cheek, essentially. Little snowflakes. We know what these things are. And you're trying to turn it on its head and make them cool-ass shurikens or whatever. No, man, that doesn't work. I still can't believe this is real.
E negative is the goth kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look.
B negative is a stupid vampire, and I don't care about B negative at all. What a super uninspiring character, and I feel bad that Michael Morbius was thrown into this at all. Like that's just a shame. So that's it. Those are your characters. Those are your new warriors, and that is not it, Chief. Holy shit, man. I guess I'm more on the side where I hope that this is some type of a joke, and we're being taken for a ride. Like it's an elaborate joke, because it just seems like the worst time possible to do this. It doesn't seem like, I would have totally understand and thought this was real a few years back. 100%. If I saw this back in 2016, early 2017, around that time, I'd be like, oh, yeah, like, I understand. They're trying to capitalize off of this wave of progressive idealism or whatever. And it's so far past that. I'm scratching my head to see, like, what is what is the real motive behind this? Because the whole diversity, I mean, have you seen how many shows are out there and how much diversity is out there, how much forced diversity? There's plenty out there. I mean, go watch a CW shows or something. It's all out there. In the comic books, they already did runs. They did like that black girl that was going to be doing some Iron Man stuff. They were doing that Lady Thor version. They were doing, I think X-23 or something was like Wolverine, which actually kind of makes sense. And I was cool. I was totally cool with that. They were already doing stuff like that, and then they were doing even more stuff, and then a lot of the things, what do you call it, the ratings or the numbers weren't very good. They weren't very good because it was kind of obvious what they were trying to do. Like I say, when it comes to diversity and you're trying to do something real and legitimate, you just gotta just not force it in, just put it in there, and if they're a good character, people will gravitate towards them. The biggest two examples, I already mentioned Spawn, and I still do want to see Spawn as, like, I don't know, like a 70s, I don't know, just a sucker, like a brother, you know, and calling everybody a turkey or something like that. But on the real, though, like, say someone like Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern, he was put in for diversity purposes, but they wrote him well, so he just worked in the 2003 Justice League cartoon. Worked very well. He's one of my favorite characters. I love the dude. And so obviously Spawn, one of my favorite characters of all time, and Spawn was the #1 comic in the 90s for a long time. And fuck, man, I'm all about Spawn. I got these Spawn Chucks. I got still a bunch of the toys. I love Spawn. Just this shit. And the fact that Keith David is voicing Spawn in MK11 just gave me the biggest stiffy ever, man. Just the biggest stiffy. But no, let's see what happens with this, because apparently it's real, and it's dumber than all hell. Nobody gets it. I don't know. You guys tell me, is there something that I'm missing? Has the joke been spoiled and it's been figured out and I'm late to the party? I don't know, man. This is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP! Simp!
No one can stop Simp.
Simp is a god among men right now.
Simping ain't easy, man. Simping ain't easy. It costs quite a bit of money to be a simp. Now, I know a lot of you have probably heard the word simp recently, and I'm going to be honest. Usually, I'm very annoyed when there's these certain words that just ride these trend waves, and I'm like, this thing's going to die out in a while. And it's like, shut up, people. You're stupid. But simp's one of those that I actually really enjoyed. And one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much is because the first time I heard the word simp was in a 3 6 Mafia song. Now, let me tell you how I found this 3 6 Mafia song. It was on MySpace, and my friends and I were just looking up random stuff to find. We found like a band called Gay Chamber. Yeah, I wish it was still working on MySpace, but the servers don't work, so all the music doesn't work on there anymore. But Gay Chamber is still up there. I remember one of the songs was called like Toad Broker or something. Just ridiculous stuff. And at a certain point, we found this one song. Now, the title was completely different and wrong. It didn't say 3 6 Mafia on there, but it just had the intro, and he was just like, you know, swearing up a storm, and then all of a sudden sipping on some scissor starts playing, just saying it over and over and over. And I'm like, this is awesome. We're all like, this is awesome. Later on, we found out that it was 3 6 Mafia and sipping on some scissor. And I think in the second bar, I can't remember if it was the first or second bar in that song, but like, there's the line, "A pimp, not a simp." And I was like, what the hell is a simp? And so that always stuck with me, kind of not knowing what it was, but still just kind of going with it. And then later on, hearing it more in the black community and hearing, like, say, Tariq Nasheed use it all the time. And then I kind of looked it up and started to understand exactly what it was. It's basically the opposite of a pimp. A simp, you know, you're somebody that just, you're a slave to the pussy, essentially. You know, the word like beta cuck and all that stuff, and that was kind of the thing a few years ago. It kind of simmered down, and now it's just all about being a simp. And I just love it. I like how it sounds. It just comes off very nice and sharp, and it explains. It really like classifies a lot of people accurately. There's a lot of people online that they kind of need to relax a little bit, you know. there's a lot of people that go absolutely apeshit when they see like a cute girl doing something cute, and then they're just completely mesmerized and they don't know what to do. They act like they're Tenchi Muyo when they're just freaking out and stuff, and there's nosebleeds all the time. They can't handle being around pretty women, and it's like, dude, relax, man. Relax. And then other things you do, you give up all of your money and stuff, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Look, I don't care if you want to support a creator, someone that you really like, you know. There's someone that you're getting something from them and you want to support them, that's totally cool. But the idea of like supporting certain e-girls that do little to nothing, that's the only thing that angers me. And that's when I say you're legitimately simping. For example, there's women that, you know, get all crazy dressed up and do all these elaborate photo shoots and do all this stuff, and they probably shoot all these porn scenes or whatever, and it's like they're doing stuff and you're getting value out of it. Okay, cool, fair enough. You do you know what I'm saying? But there are some that just stand around. They're not even completely naked. They're not even in really any interesting environments, and then, or I don't know, people just paying for feet. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily get it. But at the same time, to each their own, right? You can't really tell somebody how to spend their money. But we can still call you a simp. And it's pretty funny, like this whole thing is blown up so much, especially because of that Bernie Sanders okay boomer girl. And let me tell you something. I'm sure most of you have heard that video, or you've seen that okay boomer thing. Okay, boomer, yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it, and I'm gonna be honest, it enrages me. It enrages me because I am not a fan of that overly fake cute stuff. Like it reminded me of that. There was some other song that was very TikTok famous, just like this. It was something like something hit or miss. I guess they never miss, huh? And then it's just getting like really cutesy and stupid. It just makes me cringe, and I'm like, why do people like this? I like real cute stuff. I like seeing cute puppies and squirrels. I fucking love squirrels, man. When I see a squirrel, it's like the most adorable shit ever. When I see someone's like their kid being all adorable and stuff, and someone's being like a good parent, and then the kid, you know, is reciprocating with like laughter, and it's just all like lovey and shit. Like, yeah, that's great. That's amazing. I love that stuff. I'm very envious of that stuff. But like when I see this like squeaky stuff, and I forget what it's called, but when those girls do that tongue thing and their eyes are like rolling in the back of their head and stuff, like I fucking hate that shit. Like it doesn't look cute to me or sexy. I don't get it. It's not for me, clearly. And I will shame you for liking it. I don't really care that much. I just say that this is the definition of simping to a lot of people. And I guess to a lot of people, they think simping is actually a problem. Like it's actually a problem. It's actually destroying what men need to be. And look, I think maybe that's a little bit blown out of proportion, but I do think there is a little bit something to it. I do think that there's a lot of dudes that are, you know, they consider themselves MGTOW or incels and stuff, and they can easily be put into that simp category. Like they swear that they hate these women and stuff, and they resent all of them and stuff, but they're always doing all this extreme stuff to try to get them and completely missing the mark of how to actually get women. Because ultimately, and I say this like honestly, deeply, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to just be a decent human being and to get a woman. But a lot of these simps, they don't know how to do it. And the fucked up thing is they take advice from the worst people imaginable. They don't take advice from like regular dudes, because regular dudes usually aren't like putting their shit out there. Usually regular guys aren't putting themselves out there on blast and saying like, this is how you get a woman. It's always these fucking idiots that are usually trying to make money, or they're completely bullshitting. Just like, because, you know, like they'll say this is what you need to do, but their life is completely in shambles behind the scenes. So it's one of those things that like, there's not a lot of good advice out there. And so a lot of these simps are very misguided. And yeah, so I wouldn't say necessarily like it's a huge problem, but I definitely think that there's a lot of grown-ass older men that it is a little bit sad. That's one thing I can say about it. When I see a dude that's just like kind of completely just idolizing and worship, and you see them, you know, it's just as bad as when you see people worshiping celebrities, for example. Like they're just always in their replies and saying the most egregious stuff, and then they have their avatar is that, and their background, their banner, everything is that one celebrity. And they have pictures of them all over their room and just all of that crazy stuff where it's like, whoa, you need to slow down. You need to slow down a minute. You know, that stuff's super unhealthy. And then you have all these dude bros that are simping just as unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have every right to do it. You can do that as much as you want. But it's very unhealthy and it's very cringy. And, you know, I can say I don't know anybody personally that's like that. And so I think it's much more of just like a thing that lives on the internet, because all the guys that I grew up with, they're all normal people. Everybody might have little things here and there that are a little bit weird about them or something, but I've never seen anything like that, like this whole simp culture. I've never seen anything like that in real life. And I think that kind of goes for so much of the stuff that I talk about, and so many things that are always kind of just living on the internet. Like when you think about this whole, I previously talked about Safe Space and Snowflake, the Marvel comic thing, where I don't hear about stuff like that when I go outside, when I'm going to a bar, or when I'm going to an arcade or a barcade, or I'm going to a restaurant or going to the gym. None of that stuff exists in my world over there. It's just online bullshit. And so hopefully a lot of these simping motherfuckers are not letting all that stuff seep into their real life as well. You know, I'm sure the people that are paying for all the Patreons and all the OnlyFans and everything like that, it's burning a hole in their wallets, but a lot of people do have money to burn as well. So, you know, but hopefully it's just not messing up anything else, you know. Other than that, like, I don't have a real problem. I've seen people that have a huge problem with this stuff, because they're the same ones that say they call people coomers, like, oh, you're like addicted to porn or something like that. You are practicing like promiscuous sex or whatever. I personally, well, of course, being addicted to anything is bad, but I don't think just the act of watching porn, and this comes from somebody who rarely watches porn. You know, I would have no problem saying, like, being an advocate for pornography if I loved it or something like that. I would be like, oh, it's the fucking greatest thing. I don't care about that. I don't care about those people that would, because I wouldn't think any less of myself. I'm just saying. So I don't really watch porn. Super rare if I do. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. As long as you're not addicted and it's not ruining your life, or it's not really, say, breaking the bank or doing something really crazy, you know, you do you. And so that's why I guess I would try to say the same thing about simping, you know, but you have a lot of people that are so against it, and especially usually a lot of very trad people, very traditional conservative people that are so against this stuff. And the thing that always annoys me about that, when I see people that are so against these things, I'm always thinking, oh, they're just projecting. A lot of times I'm thinking they're projecting, like they're doing all this stuff. They're the ones that are, you know, vigorously fucking whacking into porn, and they're paying all these crazy subscriptions and doing all this really damaging stuff, and then they're trying to say that, like, oh, I am holier than thou, you know, because usually I'm like, why do you care so much that people are doing all this stuff? Like, you're going a little bit too overboard, don't you think? So same thing with simping. Like, I love the term. I think it's funny. I think it's a good little internet thing that usually so many of them I'm just rolling my eyes and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is really stupid. You know, but all I can say is, man, if you wanted my advice, just chill. Just chill. You know, I didn't pay any attention to how long this podcast has been going on. I just thought I was like, wait a minute, have I reached a decent length, or I'm just so scatterbrained right now, and I just realized something as well, that I didn't do the mail segment where I didn't ask my patrons to ask me questions, and that's something that I'm supposed to do. That's something that if you are a $2 patron of mine at patreon.com/someblackguy. You can ask questions and then they'll be answered at the end of the segment. Like, you can ask me anything. And I totally forgot because there's been such a hiatus, and it's like, oh, great. My apologies. I'm going to get you guys next week for sure. And I guess we're just kind of shaking off the cobwebs since I've been off for like a month or however long it's been. But I just want to thank you guys in advance for listening, or if you finished this, if you've gotten this far, I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to just do this weekly. Again, we're going to get back on this train, just get the channel back and the podcast rolling again, and hopefully just give you guys a hell of a lot more content that you can listen and watch and all that good stuff. Going to be streaming every Saturday. I'm really excited. Going to be playing some PS3 games as well. I got a few lined up, so I got a lot of stuff lined up, and I'm just really excited to just get back on this because just breaking out of that funk that I had, just feeling like trash, and I'm like, all right, no more of this. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I will see you next week, and take care. Wash your ass, wash your hands, and stay safe.